I pulled the trigger on my father's legacy with a single forged signature, watching his four-star empire crumble from the shadows of a DC dive bar. He had buried me alive in the Army's black files, erased my service record, my medals, my very existence, to shield his own sins from the light. And now, after 2 decades of clawing through the civilian wasteland he condemned me to, he crawled back, knees in the dirt of Arlington's manicured lawns, begging not for forgiveness, but for the mercy of retirement papers only I could sign. It started with a lie so clean it could cut glass. "Ivy, you're the best damn soldier I've got. This op, it's your ticket to the stars." That was Colonel Harlan Hawk Reed, my old man, 2 weeks before he sold me out in the scorched sands of Fallujah. I was 22, fresh out of West Point with his name tattooed on my soul, leading a recon team through insurgent hell. We were hunting a high-value target, a ghost who turned out to be a U.S. asset gone rogue, funneling intel to the wrong side. My team hit pay dirt, but the asset fought back dirty, a suicide vest rigged to blow if we got too close. I made the call, breach and neutralize. We lost 2 good men that night, and the asset? He detonated anyway, taking half the block with him. The after-action report painted me as the reckless hotshot who ignored protocol, chasing glory over lives. Brass chewed me out, sidelined me for psych evals, and just like that, my career flatlined. Dishonorable discharge, no appeals, no trace left in the system. I woke up in a VA hospital bed with a Purple Heart I couldn't claim and a father who wouldn't meet my eyes at the discharge hearing. "Tough love, kid," he muttered over lukewarm coffee in the family quarters. "Army chews up the weak. You'll thank me one day." I didn't. I vanished into the American underbelly, bouncing between truck stop diners in Kansas, security gigs in Vegas casinos, and odd jobs hauling freight across the Rust Belt. Every night, I traced the shrapnel scars on my thigh, whispering the names of my fallen squad, Ramirez, Kowalski, and that green kid, Ellis, whose last words were, "LT, we got your 6." Years ground me down like bad asphalt under semi-tires. I married once, to a mechanic named Jake in a Reno chapel, the kind with neon Elvis preaching from the pulpit. He was steady, the sort of guy who fixed carburetors and believed in second chances. We had a daughter, Lily, with my green eyes and his crooked grin. For a spell, it felt like redemption. Barbecues in the backyard, her tiny hands smearing ketchup on my fatigues I'd kept folded in the closet like a relic. But the ghosts don't sleep. I'd wake up sweating, replaying that Fallujah alley, the flashbang echo, the screams. Jake stuck it out for 5 years before the bottle, and my nightmares drove him to a cousin in Seattle. "You're still at war, Ivy," he said, packing his tools. "But it's in your head now." Lily went with him. Court said I was unstable. Unfit mother. Echoes of my discharge all over again. That's when the first crack in the facade appeared. An anonymous email, routed through some dark web proxy. "Your father didn't save the op. He botched it. Check the logs." Attached was a redacted PDF, mission transcripts, timestamps scrubbed, but not clean enough. Harlan had overridden my breach order from command post, rerouting us into the kill zone to cover his ass on a side deal. He'd been skimming black budget funds, funneling cash to private contractors for consulting gigs that smelled like kickbacks from Halliburton cronies. The asset? A loose end in his web, a whistleblower he needed silenced. I was the patsy, the loyal daughter soldier who took the heat. My dishonorable? A fabricated firewall to bury the evidence. He promoted to general on the smoke of my ruined life. Rage isn't a wildfire. It's a slow smolder, eating rebar from the inside out. I didn't go nuclear, not yet. I went quiet. Enrolled in night classes at a community college in Ohio. Got a PI license under a ghost name. Eve Harlan. Irony like a boot to the ribs. Tracked his rise. Hawk Reed, the hawk-eyed patriot, schmoozing senators at Quantico Gallus, his chest a salad of ribbons I'd sewn on as a kid. He remarried, a Botoxed socialite named Clarissa, all pearls and Potomac whispers, and popped out a son, little Harlan Jr., the golden boy cadet at the academy. Family photos on his LinkedIn, beaming, untarnished. Me? Cropped out like a bad scan. My first move was surgical, a deepfake audio clip, Harlan's voice confessing fragments of the scam, seated on veteran forums. Whispers started, old squad mates emailing. Heard rumors, LT. You good? I played coy, Fed the fire with anonymous tips to military watchdogs. Nothing stuck. His Teflon coating was Pentagon grade, but it itched under his skin. I saw it at a VFW hall in Virginia, me nursing a Bud Light in the corner, him holding court at the bar. Our eyes locked across the smoke-hazed room, mine steel, his flickering like a faulty bulb. He excused himself, sidled over, voice low as grave dirt. "Ivy, been a while. You look rugged. Rugged. Like I'd chosen the Skid Row aesthetic. What do you want, General?" I asked, not rising. He leaned in, scotch on his breath. "Family sticks together. Let the past die." I smiled, thin as a razor. "Past? You mean the one where you killed my team to save your slush fund?" His face didn't crack, but his knuckles whitened on the glass. "Careful, girl. Some bridges you don't burn." He thought that was checkmate. It was my opening gambit. Over the next year, I built the noose thread by thread. Hired a hacker kid from a Philly basement, ex-Army intel, bitter as week-old chow, to crack his encrypted drives. Jackpot. Emails to offshore accounts, photos of brick-stacked cash in Dubai safe houses, even a love child memo from '98, some aid he paid off to vanish. But the crown jewel? The Fallujah directive, unredacted, his signature authorizing the fatal reroute. For the greater good, the memo read. Greater good, his stars on the shoulder boards. I could have leaked it all, nuked him from orbit. But revenge isn't a sprint. It's a marathon through razor wire. Instead, I went personal. Infiltrated his inner circle as consultant for a think tank gala. Blonde wig, push-up assets, the works. Charmed Clarissa over Chardonnay. Slipped little Harlan a USB with study tips that doubled as malware. Watched from afar as his home server lit up like a Christmas tree, siphoning data to my burner laptop in a Maryland motel. He suspected, beefed up security, rotated aides, but I was the ghost in the machine, the daughter he digitized out of existence. The tension coiled like a spring in a .45. Lily turned 8 without me. Jake sent photos, her gap-toothed smile a knife twist. I drove cross-country to see her once, parked outside the school in Boise, engine idling like my pulse. She waved at a minivan, not mine. That night, I keyed coordinates into a drone schematic. Nothing lethal, just a reminder. A week later, one of his prized roses in the Arlington gardenia bed bloomed with red, white, and blue petals, tiny American flags, pinned with photos of my discharge papers. His response? A late-night call, voice gravel. "This ends now, Ivy. You're playing with fire." "No, Dad," I whispered back. "I'm the spark, and you're dry tinder." By 2025, the winds shifted. Scandals rocked the Joint Chiefs, insider trading, love nests, and taxpayer jets. Harlan's name surfaced in whispers, a domino teetering. He doubled down, testified before Congress in starched glory, stonewalling probes with that shucks southern drawl he'd honed in Georgia barracks. Service above self, Mr. Chairman. Bullshit. I timed my strike for the hearing's aftermath. Anonymous dossier to the IG, cross-referenced with FOIAs I'd buried in red tape. Leaks hit the post like monsoon rain. Headlines screaming 4-star slush, General Reed's shadow empire? He didn't fold. He fought dirty, as always. Sued the leakers, me, untraceable, smeared sources as disgruntled vets chasing checks. Clarissa lawyered up, filed for divorce citing irreconcilable ambitions. Little Harlan? Dropped from the Academy waitlist, whispers of tainted blood. Hawk isolated, a lion in winter, pacing his McLean McMansion like a cage. That's when he reached out. Not a call, but a hand-delivered envelope, cream stock, his seal embossed. Inside, a single sheet, retirement request form, flagged for command approval. And a note. "Sign it, Ivy. Let me go out with dignity. We can talk after." Talk. As if words could stitch the guts he'd spilled. I met him at the Vietnam Memorial, dawn fog rolling off the reflecting pool like battlefield smoke. He was frielier than I remembered, 68, paunch straining the civvies, eyes hollowed by too many all-nighters. "You did this," he said, not accusation, just fact. I traced a panel etched with Ramirez's name. "No, you started it. I just finished." He sighed, heavy as artillery. "Fallujah." I panicked. The contracts were drying up, post-surge. One bad call, and it all vanished. "You were strong, Ivy. I figured you'd bounce back." "Bounce back? Like a rubber check. You erased me. My daughter thinks I'm a deadbeat. My team, gone because you played God with their lives." He pulled a flask, offered it. Scotch, neat. I took a swig, fire in my veins. What do you want, really? He met my gaze, unflinching for the first time. Absolution? Hell if I know. But the form. Sign it. Brass is circling. Without it, they court-martial. Strip everything. I laughed, bitter as the burn. And if I don't? His smile was ghost-thin. Then we both burn. I go down fighting, drag you with me. Expose the forgeries, the hacks. Lily finds out her ma's a vigilante. Check. The bastard always had a countermove. We stood there as the sun cracked the horizon, tourists trickling in like reinforcements. I waited. Mercy or the kill shot. Sign, and he fades into Florida golf course obscurity, a footnote. Refuse, and the trial becomes spectacle, his medals melting in the glare, my name resurrected in tabloids as the vengeful phantom daughter. Polarizing as hell. Hero avenger or spiteful saboteur. No clean wins, just shades of gray in the American dream's underbelly. I signed. Not in the office, not with flair. In his hand, under the wall's shadow, pen scratching like claws on coffin wood. For Lily, I said. Not you. He folded the paper, reverent, then pulled me into a hug, awkward, bone creak. Proud of you, kid. Always was. Lies, but his voice cracked, and for a heartbeat, I saw the man who'd taught me to salute the flag at 5, not the schemer who'd buried me. He retired 2 weeks later, quiet ceremony, no fanfare, just a press release citing family priorities. Clarissa got the house. Harlan Jr. transferred to a state school on a merit scholarship I anonymously funded. Me? I drove west, toward Boise, Lily's latest school, place circled on a calendar. Jake answered the door wary, but her squeal, Aunt Eve, cracked the ice. Not mom yet, but a start. Redemption's a long patrol, full of detours. But twists don't end with signatures. 6 months on, a package arrived. No sender, just a thumb drive. Harlan's voice, recorded post-retirement. Ivy, if you're hearing this, I did it clean. No more games. The accounts? Yours now. Offshore, clean wash. For Lily. And the logs? I burned them myself. We're square. Square. As if math fixed murder. I stared at the screen, heart pounding like incoming fire. Had he played me again, laundered his sins into a gift, baiting an audit trail back to me? Or was it real, a dying man's Hail Mary? Debate rages in my head, same as it would in any barroom bull session. Was I the villain for dragging him low, or the victim who finally tallied the score? He got his quiet exit. I got shadows lifted, a foot in Lily's door. But as I wire the funds to a trust, anonymous, ironclad, I wonder, did signing set us free, or just reload the chamber? America's got no clean endings, just the next watch, eyes open in the dark. The drive to Boise stretched like a bad memory, I-80's endless blacktop mirroring the fault lines in my rearview. Harlan's gift burned a hole in my laptop bag. 10 mil in crypto-wrapped wire transfers, laundered through Cayman shells so twisty even the IRS would need a map. Square, he'd called it, as if dollars could caulk the cracks in a shattered dog tag. I cranked the radio, some classic rock station out of Cheyenne blasting Springsteen's Born to Run, that gritty Jersey wail about escaping the boss man's chains. Fitting anthem for a read. Father or daughter, we were both chained to the flag's flip side. Lily's school play was The Wizard of Oz. Her as Dorothy, plucky in pigtails and ruby slippers Jake had spray-painted from dollar store heels. I slipped into the auditorium late, cowboy boots scuffing the linoleum, heart hammering like it did before a night drop in Kandahar. Parents shot glances, stranger in leather jacket, faded army ink peeking from my sleeve, but I didn't care. There she was, center stage, belting Over the Rainbow, with a lisp that twisted my gut. 8 years old, and already carrying the weight of fractured fairy tales. Jake sat 2 rows up, arms crossed, his mechanic's grease still under his nails. He nodded when our eyes met, neutral as a truce flag. Progress. After the curtain call, standing O, her beaming under tissue paper poppies, I hung back in the lobby, pretending to check emails on my burner. She spotted me first, barreling through the crowd like a heat seeker. Aunt Eve, you came. Hug fierce, smelling of grape gum and kid sweat. I knelt, matching her grin. Wouldn't miss Toto's big scene, kiddo. Jake approached slow, Lily tugging his hand. She practiced that twister line for weeks, he said, voice even. No accusations, just fact. Appreciate the drive. Small talk danced around the elephant. My ghosts, his fresh start with a waitress named Tara. But when Lily dashed for punch, he leaned in. Heard about your old man. Papers said retirement, but the blogs. Messy. I shrugged, casual as reloading a clip. Water under the bridge. How's the shop? We grabbed diner grub after. Waffle House off the interstate. Hash browns scattered like shrapnel. Lily chattered about munchkins and wicked witches, oblivious to the undercurrents. Jake and I traded custody updates. My PI gig stabilizing, his garage turning profit. You're looking steadier, he admitted over coffee black as boot polish. Steadier. Code for less haunted. I almost told him then. About the drive, the money, Harlan's final fuck you or forgive me play. But the words stuck, barbed wire in my throat. Instead, I slid an envelope across the booth. $5,000, cash, for her college fund. No strings, I said. His eyes narrowed. Trust issues die hard. But he pocketed it. Thanks, Ivy. Means something. That night, holed up in a Super 8 with thin walls and a neon vacancy buzz, I cracked the thumb drive deeper. Beyond the transfers, a video file, time-stamped last week. Harlan, gaunt in a hospital gown, for drip like surrender stripes. Ivy girl, he rasped, camera shaky, self-shot, probably. Cancer's got me by the short hairs. Stage 4, pancreatic. Docs give me months, not years. Pause, cough rattling like loose rounds. The money's clean, lawyers vetted it. Use it for her. And the logs? Gone. Incinerated in a bonfire out back, with your mom's old letters. We ain't perfect, kid. But we're reeds. Fight smart, love hard. Fade to black. Tears. Nah, just a hollow ache, like losing a limb you never mourned. He was dying. Poetic justice or cheap cop-out. The man who'd engineered my fall now scripting his exit with paternal schmaltz. I fired up Tor, pinged my Philly hacker. Traced the vid metadata. Real or deep fake? Reply came swift. Real. IP from Walter Reed. No edits. He's fading fast. Confirmation hit like a gut punch. Part of me wanted to drive east, hold vigil in that sterile room, hash out the unsaid over Jell-O cups. Another part? Wanted to let him rot solo, karma's cold nurse. Dawn broke gray, rain slicking the windshield as I hit the road again. Next stop, DC, not for him, but the loose ends. My PI network buzzed. Tips on Clarissa's alimony wars, Harlan Jr.'s frat boy scrapes at Penn State. The kid was spiraling. DUIs, a hazing vid gone viral on TikTok, all under the shadow of daddy's disgrace. I could have ignored it, let the golden boy tarnish natural. But blood's thicker than spite. Posed as a recruiter, met him in a state college dive, foam-flecked mugs and stale pretzels. Cadet Reed, I said, sliding into the booth uninvited. He blinked, bloodshot, Harlan's jawline, but softer, untested. Do I know you? Wariness, inherited. Eve Harlan. I lied smooth, extending a hand. Cousin, sorta. Your pop sent me. Half-truth, but it hooked him. We talked army dreams derailed, the sting of legacy's weight. He's a hard act, the kid slurred, 3 beers deep. Erased my acceptance essay, said it was soft. Now this shit show. Tears welled, boyman mess. I listened, then laid it out. You're not him. Reinvent. Drop the bottle, hit the books. I know a program. Vets mentoring cadets. Clean slate. He nodded, desperate for a lifeline. By closing, I'd wired him into a scholarship funnel, anonymous, from Harlan's gift. Poetic, using the old man's dirty money to salvage his heir. Back in D.C., the city pulsed with autumn bite, leaves crunching under my boots like spent casings, monuments looming judgmental. I hit the archives, FOIA requests in hand, chasing echoes of Fallujah. Brass had scrubbed deep, but fragments lingered, a sergeant's affidavit, buried in a warehouse file, swearing my call was by the book. Ramirez's widow, Maria, now a nurse in San Antonio. Her email from years back, unanswered. I called, voice steady. LT Reed? Holy shit, thought you were myth. We met in a Whataburger off I-10, her in scrubs, me in civvies. Stories spilled, grief's grind, her boy's enlistment echoing the dad he lost. Harlan visited once, she said, eyes hard. Brought a check. Said it was from you. Lie on lie. I handed her another envelope. $20K, no provenance. For real this time. From a friend. Word spread in vet circles. ripples turning to waves. Forums lit up, Ghost LT's back, dropping truth bombs and cash. Harlan caught wind, or what was left of him. A letter arrived at my P.O. box, his scrawl shaky. Heard you're playing Robin Hood with my retirement. Noble, but risky. Feds sniff crypto, they dig. Warning, or olive branch. I visited Walter Reed that weekend, badge flashed. Old contacts still owed favors. He was a skeleton in sheets, monitors beeping dirge. IV. He croaked, hand skeletal on mine. No anger, just exhaustion. Knew you'd come. I sat, silent vigil, the room thick with antiseptic and regret. Tell me why. I finally said, voice low. He licked cracked lips. Fear, kid. Always fear. Post, 9/11 gold rush. Contractors waving billions. I dipped, thought I could swim. Your team. Collateral. Like too many stateside. Confession unspooled. The asset was his cutout. The reroute a desperate pivot. I signed your discharge to protect you from the probe. Brass wanted blood. I gave him yours, kept mine hidden. Twisted logic, paternal shield as sword. And the erasure? Made you vanish so they couldn't use you against me. I pulled back, ball rising. Protected? You orphaned me. Lily doesn't know her grandma's stories because you burned M. He wept then, silent shudders. Forgive. A whisper. I stood, coat rustling like parachute silk. Not mine to give, but I'll carry the load lighter. Kissed his forehead, salt and sorrow, then walked out, heels echoing hall long. Outside, storm clouds gathered, thunder rumbling like distant arty. I hit the beltway, radio tuned to NPR dissecting another brass scandal. Not his, but close enough. The gift sat heavy, a Pandora's piggy bank. Wire it all to causes, vets' homes, widow funds. Or sold it away for Lily's future, tainted inheritance? Choice loomed, controversial as a drone strike. Taint the innocent with dirty war dollars, or let the sins die unspent. Nights blurred into stakeouts of my own life. Watching Jake's garage from afar, Lily's soccer games from the bleacher's edge. Tara, the waitress, warmed slow, baked me cookies once, oatmeal raisin, for the road warrior. Jake and I, dinners turned dates, tentative as demoning a trail. You're different, he said one night. Porch swing creaking under stars. Lighter. Truth. Harlan's ghost was fading, but mine? Still patrolled the perimeter. Then the feds knocked. 2 suits in a Tacoma coffee shop, badges discreet. Ms. Reed? Financial irregularities. Offshore wires, military ties. Heart skipped. Harlan's warning, manifest. I played dumb, coffee cooling untouched. Must be a mix-up. I'm just a PI chasing skip tracers. They pressed, photos of me at the archives, timestamps on my hacks. General Reed's passing, tragic. But his estate's under review. Your name popped. Passing. He was gone, slipped anchor overnight. No note, just a service log. Family only. I lawyered up, burned burners, scattered the crypto like chaff. They circled, but evidence was smoke. Harlan's final play, or mine. The probe dragged, polarizing headlines. Vengeful daughter or patriot heir? Forums split. Some hailed me avenger, others scorned the money-grubbing vet. Lily asked once, innocent, why do people yell at you on TV, and Eve? I hugged her tight. Grown-up games, kid. Nothing a good story can't fix. Resolution came circuitous. A whistleblower in Harlan's old aide-de-camp, flipping for immunity, corroborating the Fallujah fuckery. Not my leak, karma's boomerang. Feds pivoted, my name cleared as cooperating witness. The money? Seized, funneled to victims' trusts. Ramirez's boy got a full ride to A&M. Winter clamped D.C. like a frost-bitten foxhole, sleet sheeting the Potomac as I navigated the funeral cortege. Harlan's service was brass-heavy. Eulogies from graybeards who'd golfed with him at Andrews. Widows in veiled hats dabbing crocodile tears. No media circus. The probe's hush money bought discretion. I stood at the fringes in my wool coat, breath fogging like suppressed fire, Lily's hand cold in mine. Jake driven us up, silent sentinel, his pickup a lifeline through the snow-snarled turnpike. You sure about this? He'd asked at the hotel, Tara minding their new pup back home. I nodded, stealing. Closure's a bitch, but necessary. The chaplain droned psalms, Harlan's flag-draped box gleaming under tent lights. Clarissa air-kissed the casket, pearls clacking like spent brass. Divorce finalized, but optics demanded decorum. Harlan Jr. slouched beside her, suit rumpled, eyes red-rimmed from more than grief. We'd texted sporadic since state college. Thanks for the hookup, Eve. Dad'd be pissed. Pissed or proud. The kid cornered me post-burial, gravel crunching under our boots. He mentioned you. In times. Said you were the real general. I snorted, misting the air. Flattery's cheap, Harlan. Stay straight. He hugged awkward, bones like his father's frame. Will do, cuz. Reception at the officers' club, catered shrimp, watered scotch, war stories swapped like trading cards. I nursed a club soda, fielding condolences from ghosts of my past. A West Point prof, grizzled, clapping my shoulder. Heard you got railroad, Reed. Tough break. No pity, just nod to the grind. Jake hovered protective, charming the ants with shop talk. Lily, bored of khaki chatter, tugged my sleeve. Grandpa was a soldier like you? Heart snag. Yeah, kid. Complicated one. She pondered. Then, did he like rainbows? Oz echo, innocence piercing armor. Think so. Somewhere under it all. That's when the twist uncoiled, a silver-haired admiral, Reed's old CO, sidling up with a tumbler. Captain Reed. Unofficial, of course. Captain. My ghost rank. Eyes sharp as bayonets. Harlan was a schemer, but loyal. That Fallujah mess. He took the fall for me, too. Reroute was my call, covering my own contractor slip. Bombshell, casual as passing salt. You? I echoed, voice flat. He nodded, sipping. Brass protected stars. He volunteered your name. Reliable Patsy, he joked. But the erasure? That was mercy. Kept you from testifying, from their meat grinder. Layers peeling, onion of deceit. Harlan, not just self-server, but chain gang fall guy. Why tell me now? Admiral shrugged. Guilt's a slow bleed. And with him gone, truth's the only salute left. I excused, stepped into the sleet, mind reeling like a jammed M4. Jake found me chain-smoking under the awning. Bad habit, stress flare. You okay? Arms around, steady as a bipod. Better question, am I? Laughter bubbled, manic edge. The Admiral's reveal reframed everything. Harlan's betrayal a fractal, echoing up the chain. Not absolution, but context. A system rotten as week-old MREs, where daughters died for Father's fathers. I crushed the butt, decision crystallizing. We're out. Tomorrow. Road back west was catharsis, wipers slashing rhythm like a metronome to confession. I spilled to Jake, Fallujah, the scams, the gift, now the Admiral's gut punch. He listened, knuckles white on the wheel. Jesus, Ivy. That's operatic. Operatic. Yeah, Greek tragedy in olive drab. Doesn't change shit, I said. He still buried me. But it did, softened edges, blurred blame lines. Villain or victim? Both and neither. America's wars, domestic or desert, thrived on gray. Spring thawed Boise slow, dogwoods blooming like hesitant truces. I relocated permanent, rented a craftsman bungalow off Main, picket fenced but chain link real. PI work boomed, skipping bail jumpers, tailing cheating spouses, even a cold case for the sheriff on a vet OD. Steady pay, no ghosts. Jake and I, official now, courthouse quickie with Lily as flower girl, her in a sundress twirling like Dorothy Unbound. Tara bowed out graceful, family's family. Nights, we grilled burgers on the deck, her stories filling the air, school crushes, soccer goals, the occasional, why'd you leave, mommy? Truth dosed gentle, bad dreams from work. But I'm home now. Harlan Jr. visited summer. Road trip in my old Jeep, top down, Route 66 echoes. Kid cleaned up, buzz cut fresh, Penn State transcripts glowing. We hiked the Sawtooths, granite peaks mocking mortal schemes. Dad wrote about you. He admitted campfire side, Esmore's melting sticky. In his journal, said you were the spine he lacked. Journal, another posthumous bomb. I read it later, pages yellowed, prose clipped as orders, regrets tabulated like after-action logs. Lily sketched, as grandkid I'll never know. Final entry, Ivy signed. That's victory enough. Victory. Debatable still. The probe's echoes faded. Admiral retired for health. Clarissa's settlement sealed lips. But ripples hit personal. Maria Ramirez called, voice thick. Your check? Bought my boy braces. And the trust. God, Ivy. Gratitude heavy as rucksack. I visited San Antonio again. Met her husband. Kowalski's brother. Irony's joke. Over tamales. Toasts raised. To the fallen. And the fighters. Ellis's mom sent a quilt. patches from his kit, stitched with "We got your six." Tension simmered domestic now, Jake's garage expansion straining, my caseload spiking with election year paranoia. One gig turned ugly, tailing a Politico's aide, linked to Harlan's old web. Photos snapped, drop-offs in foggy bottom alleys, envelopes fat as bribes. I sat on it, ethical wire walk, expose and risk blowback, or bury like dad taught. Chose middle, anonymous tip to ProPublica, trail cold but pointed. Headline splashed, echoes of Iraq, DC shadows. No byline credit, but vets texted cheers, ghost LT strikes again. Lily turned 9 in a backyard bash, piñata bursting candy like frag confetti, kids shrieking glee. She gifted me a drawing, stick figure family, me in army clothes with a rainbow lasso. For catching dreams, Mom. Lasso. Fitting. Mine snared Harlan's ghost, reeled it entangled. Jake grilled ribs, smoke curling patriotic. Proud of you, he murmured, arm around waist. Pride. Earned, not inherited. But darkness lingers, you dark as Idaho nights. Dreams still ambush, Fallujah flashes, Harlan's rasp, Admiral's smirk. I wake gasping, Jake's hand grounding. Fight's over, he soothes. Is it? System still chewing, new wars, same scams. My revenge? Polarized patina, some call it justice, others vendetta. Twist of the Admiral's tale. Sparks endless bar debates. How deep does the rot go? One man's fall, or empire's fault line? I teach Lily chess now, board scarred from Harlan's den. Pawn to queen, strategies, sly dance. Always think 3 moves ahead, I say. She giggles, toppling my king. Or just charge, Mom. Charge. Reckless heart of a reed. As summer fades to harvest gold, I wonder, did signing free us, or forge new chains? Harlan's journal ends unanswered. Square. Nah. But closer, maybe. In America's tense tableau, grills and guns, rainbows and regrets, we carve our peace, jagged but ours. Crisis brewed fall. Harlan Jr.'s call. Panicked. Eve, the journal. Feds found a copy. Want me to testify? Copy. Harlan's failsafe or sabotage. I flew east, storm-chasing gut. Kid holed in a dorm, pages splayed. Duplicates, dated pre-death. He said burn him. I stashed one. Youth's folly. We lawyered, spun it as personal musings, but IG circled, hungry for closure. My name dragged, key witness read. Media frenzy reignited, daughter's dilemma, betray or bury? Climax crested in a DC hearing room, fluorescent harsh as interrogation lamps. I testified cool, facts stripped bare, no flair. General Reed made choices. Costly ones. But the chain? Brass to boots, all complicit. Admiral squirmed adjacent, perjuring smooth. Harlan Jr. followed, voice cracking. He was flawed. But family. Polarizer. Cheer my candor or curse the kid's loyalty. Verdict hung, reprimands issued, no scalps. But truth cracked daylight, vets groups lobbying reform. Back in Boise, snow dusted peaks like fresh intel. Lily built snowmen, scarves jaunty. Jake proposed expansion. Us, official. Rings and vows. I said yes, under aurora flickers. Northern lights, rare gift. Wedding small. Backyard, wildflowers. Ramirez toasting via Zoom. Vows exchanged, through fire and fallout. Lily ring bearer, grin wide. Yet the twist lingers. Journal shadow. A final Harlan gambit? Forged absolution, or genuine grace? Debates rage in my mind, same as online. Heroic haunt or haunted harpy. Ending? No tidy bow. Just forward march. Boots in mud, rainbow chasing storms. A year post-hearing, Boise settled into rhythm. Crisp mornings with Jake's coffee brewing strong. Lily's school bus rumbling like a deuce and a half. The bungalow sprouted roots. Herb garden out back. My PI office in the spare room stacked with case files and a mini fridge stocked with IPAs. Work hummed, mostly mundane. Insurance frauds, lost pets with GPS collars, but the Harlan Echo paid dividends. Vetsorg tapped me for consulting, Ghost LT moniker sticking like burrs. Seminars at the VFW, navigating the system's minefield. Audiences nodded, scarred hands clutching styrofoam cups. You called out the kings, one grizzled Korean vet grunted. Kings. Harlan laughed, bitter. But laughter's luxury. Nightmares evolved. Not just Fallujah blasts, but hearing room stairs, Harlan's journal pages fluttering like indictments. Jake woke me gentle. Another patrol? We'd talk it out, his mechanic's logic untangling knots. You're building, Ivy. Not burning. Building. Yeah, Lily's college fund swelling legit now, my savings from skip fees. We weekend camped the Oahes, tent poles snapping like salute cracks, stars wheeling overhead. She asked about Grandpa once, marshmallow stick paused. Was he good? Loaded as a mag, tried to be, I said. Like us. Half answer, full heart. Harlan Jr. thrived, graduated Penn State cum laude, interned at a think tank dissecting drone ethics. We FaceTimed holidays, his apartment a mess of books and takeout boxes. Missed the hikes, cuz, he'd say. Cuz. Family's fudge word. Clarissa? Faded to Florida tabloids, ex-wife of disgraced General Seek's reality glow. Schadenfreude's cheap wine, sipped once, spat. Twists aftershock hit spring. Anonymous email, Admiral's sigil. Loose end read. Meet Quantico midnight. No badges. Trap or truth. I went armed. .38 in ankle holster. Jeep's growl low. Piney Woods off base. Moon's silvering needles. He waited. Civilian slacks. Flask glinting. Knew you'd bite. No hello. Just dive. Harlan's journal? My plant. To flush the rats. Betrayals Hydra. Another head. Why? Venom laced. He sipped. Eyes Potomac reflective. Reform stall. Needed a martyr. You played perfect. Polarized the room. Split the vote. Martyr. Me again. And you? Clean hands. Snort. None are. But your testimony? Tip the scales. No more slush probes, for now. Rage boiled, but calculated. I recorded it all, phone hidden. One pull. I warned. And you're the leak. He smiled wolfish. Mutual destruction. Truce. Hand extended. I shook, grip vice. For the ghosts. Drove back dawn lit. Upload to my hacker. Weaponize careful. Whistleblower net. Leaks dripped weeks later. Walpo expose. Admiral's side hustles headlined. He resigned amicably. Pension intact. No drama, just fade. My role? Shadow credit. Forums buzzing. LT's got 9 lives. Summer scorched. Boise's heat wave mirroring inner simmer. Jake and I honeymooned cheap. Yellowstone. Geysers erupting like suppressed fury. Lily stayed with Maria. Anytime. Bonding over Tex-Mex. We hiked geothermal trails. Steam veiling views. This it? Jake asked. Hand in mine. Old faithful rumbling. The after? I leaned, sweat slick. Think so. Or the between. Between. Wars. Pieces. The American hustle. Fall brought harvest. Lily's first hunt with Jake. Doe tagged clean. Her pride beaming. Like you, Mom. Steady shot. Steady. Hard one. My caseload crested. A vet's wrongful discharge. Echoes of mine. Pro bono. I dug. Forged evals. Command cover. Won the appeal. Kid reinstated. Brass grumbled, but precedents piled. You're changing the game. Jake said, dinner table proud. Game. Harlan's board, my pieces now. Thanksgiving gathered us. Ramirez clan flying in. Kowalski kin zooming from Milwaukee. Table groaned. Turkey carved precise. Pies from scratch. Toasts circled. To secons. And the fighters who earn M. Lily raised juice glass. To rainbows. Laughter rippled. Warm as hearth fire. Harlan's absence? Felt, but not hollow. His journal on my shelf. Dog-eared. A talisman. Winter solstice. Snow blanketed deep. I sat porch swing. Bundled. Stars pricking black. Jake inside. Lily Abed with dog-eared Oz. Phone buzzed. Harlan Jr. Uncle bump incoming. Dad's legacy. Legacy. Debatable tome. I texted back. Ours to rewrite. Truth. Revenge's arc bent, not broke. Climax's polarization. Faded to forum footnotes. Debates dying natural. No heroes absolute. Villains cartoon. Just flawed fucks navigating the suck. Final twist. None grand. Just life's sly feint. Spring unearthed a letter, postmarked Harlan's last week. Ivy, if squares myth, build anyway. Love Hawk. Tucked in, dog tags, mine from discharge, polished bright. I strung M on Lily's mirror, glint catching light. Ending? Not by or happy stark. Triumph laced tragic, peace provisional. America's script, tension taut, plot churning. I rise, boots laced, patrol renewed. Ghosts whisper, but I lead now. Rainbow's end, or storm's eye, eyes wide, moving. Years spool forward, threads weaving tight. Lily enlists at 18. Marines, her call. Green as I was, but wiser. Your stories, Mom. No repeats. I salute her bus out, tears salt-tracked. Jake Gray's handsome, garage a franchise now. Harlan Jr. runs for local office, reform slate. Me? PI firm thrives, vet's advocate on the side. Scandals simmer. New brass, old tricks, but leaks flow freer, my network the vein. Regrets? Few. Harlan's erasure-scarred, but forged, resilient alloy. Betrayals bite? Blunted by time, bites back in dreams. But waking? Lily's letters from Paris Island. Got your 6, LT. LT Legacies loop. Debate endures. Worth the war? Readers, barstool philosophers, split. She owned it, justice raw. Or vengeance vitiates, hollow win. Truth? Both. No absolutes in the Republic's ragged tale, dark, tense, hours. I pour scotch. Neat, toast the dark. To the reeds. Complicated, but climbing. Glass clinks silence, stars wink complicit. Forward.